hello everybody. Pastor Joel here with you one more time for the past days with Pastor Joel. I know it has been a minute since I've gotten content out to you. And first of all, thank you for being patient. And at the end of this video, I'm going to let you know more about why that is. And so you'll want to wait for that. I'm going to keep this video fairly short. You will see I have a new background. I'm just wondering if you happen to know where this is. This is a picture of an actual place. Put it in the comments. I'll tell you that at the end of this video as well. Well, as you know, we get a lot of pushbacks, those of us that embrace what's sometimes referred to as covenant eschatology. Other people like to call it fulfilled eschatology, preterism, pick your pronouns, like I like to say, but whatever that is, one of the pushbacks has to do with Matthew 25. I'm sure you're familiar with this, a lot of my listeners, but if you aren't, the Olivet Discourse is a huge part of all of this and how we understand those prophecies from the lips of Jesus himself. We find that discourse in Matthew 24, I would include 25, Luke 21, some of Luke 17, Mark 13, and really from my point of view, the entire book of Revelation, or at least largely that book is John's Olivet Discourse, so to speak. But one of the things people will say, even if they will grant that Matthew 24 is not a divided discourse, or they'll see, partial preterists would see most of that fulfilled, but you get to Matthew 25 and they'll say, but see, when we get here, there's a couple parables, and we also see parables other places that seem to say that Jesus, who's often referred to as the coming king or the master in these parables, they'll say, well, see, it says here he's going to be gone a long time, and therefore we know that he couldn't have actually come soon. So even if it seems like he was going to come soon in Matthew 24, when we get to Matthew 25 and other parables in different places, it says he's going to be gone for a long time. So I just wanted to address that briefly, and then again, a couple important announcements at the end. You can subscribe to my Patreon account now, Patreon/The Past Days with Pastor Joel is I think what that is, and that'll appear on the screen. And I also should be up and running now to get memberships through YouTube, which is new. I'm just kind of getting this together over time. So again, appreciate your patience with all that. And thank you for those of you that are already paid members. And so let me just share this here, and we'll go to Matthew 25 and just look at this briefly. So we've got this first parable here of the 10 virgins, and I'm not going to go into depth with all the details here, but you'll notice verse 7 here, for example, then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps. And the point is, it's the very same people that started off in this parable. It's not like there were some virgins earlier and then, some 2,000 years later, it switches to other people. It just doesn't. Verse 10 again, and well, they were going to buy. So we're talking about the same people here. Well, they were going to buy. And then it goes on to say, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went with him to the marriage feast, and the door was shut. But the point is, it's the same people throughout. It doesn't, flip a switch somewhere and go to a later time. Verse 14 of the parable of the talents, and this is one of the verses that people will use. For it will be like a man going on a journey. I think sometimes it'll say for a long time or a long journey. So that verse, and then in some other parables that are similar, it'll say that's where that pushback will come from. But again, you'll notice these are all the same people. He leaves these talents, various amounts to different people. And then you get here, verse 22, he also who had the 2 talents, again, it's talking about the same people. Verse 24, he also who had the 1 talent. You go to verse 26, but his master answered him, you wicked and slothful servant. And the point is, again, that these are the very same servants. It's not as if there are these servants and then this master left and came back, several generations, several hundreds of years, even a couple thousands of years later. And so to me, actually, these affirm the view that many of you have and that I have. It's as if, he went on a journey and came back, say, I don't know, within the same generation, like this generation. So it actually affirms and bolsters what we believe. Now, this gets a little bit trickier here, and some of what doesn't help us is headlines that say things like the final judgment that automatically then make us think of something at the end of time. But here, verse 31, when the Son of Man comes in his glory and all his angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. And of course, I had assumed, and many of you had, and some of you watching now, assume this is at the end of time, the end of the world, whatever that would look like in your understanding. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne, be gathered before all the nations, and so forth. And here's where we really want to use scripture to compare it with other scripture. So again, Son of Man comes in his glory, angels with him. Where else do we see something pretty much exactly like that? And we're going to go here, Matthew 16. Let me pull it up. 27 and 28, where it says this, for the Son of Man is going to come with his angels. The glory of his Father will repay each person according to what he has done. So again, that says essentially the same thing that it says in Matthew 25. And then we get here, truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. And what I like about these verses from Matthew 16, 27, and 28, and the parallels, which are Mark 8, 38 through 9, 1, and Luke 9, I think 26 and 27, they all cover the same idea. It's because these are some of the clearest passages from the lips of Jesus as to the timing of his return and the timing of his kingdom. So they're great verses to use, and pretty much every time I'm engaging with somebody and ask them, somebody that has a different belief, and ask them to interpret these, most of the time they won't even touch it. That's when they start calling me names or change the conversation because they cannot deal with these verses from a futurist paradigm. Or they will say, well, that actually had to do with what we call the Mount of Transfiguration event or Pentecost. The problem with both of those is they happened very, very soon to when Jesus spoke these words. What would be the chances that Jesus was saying some of you are going to die within the next few days, plus neither of those events include the angels or include the rewards? One other thing here, if I go to Revelation 20, I'm going to say the same idea here. Let's pull it up. Revelation 20, you get to verse 12 is one verse where it says, oops, I'm sorry. That's not what I mean at all. Revelation 22, it's been a long day. 3 times it talks about I am coming soon. Verse 7, behold, I am coming soon. Verse 12, behold, I am coming soon, bringing my recompense with me to repay each one for what he has done. Doesn't that sound an awful lot like coming with rewards to repay each person with what they have done? And so, again, putting all this all together, Matthew 25 is saying the same thing. Yes, the master was going to be on a journey for a while, but he was going to return to those same servants or characters of the parable. Again, the timing is the same. It actually affirms the preterist view. All right. And I'm actually not going to go too much longer in this video. And for me, pretty short. I'm watching my friend Zach Davis has all these videos, and his channel is just blowing up, and rightly so, because he does a fantastic job. But he's doing all these little short videos, and I'm thinking, man, maybe that's not a bad idea from time to time. So at any rate, let me now tell you just briefly about what you see in the background. I don't know if anybody knows that. I'll have to check comments later, but it is the Gold Coast in Australia. Australia has 6 states, I believe it is, and Queensland is the most northeast state, and the Gold Coast is sort of on the south part of Queensland, about 45 minutes to an hour south of Brisbane. And I mentioned this in a short I had recently, and I've been hinting at it. I've got a shirt that I wore in a video that says Gold Coast. I had a hat that had a picture of an American flag and an Australian flag, and I've got this picture in the background. And some of you know this already, and I won't go into detail here, but I am actually relocating to Australia. And that is one of the reasons I haven't been able to get much content out. Also just, working quite a bit, and just life's been a little crazy. But I just, again, I thank you for your patience. And I have tried to get regular content out, and occasionally I'll have little windows of time where I'm able to do it, but there is just so much involved. If you have moved at all, it's a lot. And doing an international move is a whole crazy thing. and I'm actually leaving relatively soon for that, and it's just been really hard to get content out. So again, thank you for your patience. If this channel has been helpful to you, I would encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. And I'd ask you also to consider giving some support to the channel, as I am hoping that this is at least a source of income over time. And once I get settled in there and so forth, I'm going to have plenty of other things to do, but I should get back to a more regular rhythm with content as well. So anyway, a lot going on for sure. So thankful for all of you. Christ's peace to you and yours. Pastor Joel saying bye for now.